Welcome to the Pesky Report, a podcast for Red Sox fans.
Hello and welcome to, I don't even know if this is our 6th or 7th. We're kind of releasing these out of order now, but welcome to the Men of Tomorrow interview featuring Brandon Walter of the Worcester Red Sox. I'm Ed Hand, and I'm joined, as always, with Brad and Brady. We're brought to you by Belly Up Sports, and we're super excited to have recently added to the Red Sox 40-man roster, Brandon Walter. How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, we're super excited to have you here. Brad, Brady, how are you guys?
Dude, I've heard so much about Mr. Walters over here from one of our favorite guests, Cole Cottom. We've already talked a little bit about that right before we started recording, so I'm pretty excited.
Brandon, off the bat, first off, congrats on the 40-man.
Thank you.
I know how I celebrated hitting 40, but how did you celebrate hitting 40?
I didn't do anything crazy. I drove over to my parents' house and told them in person. They live like 15 minutes down the road, so me and my girlfriend just headed to their house to tell them in person, and then I came home and went to sleep.
Can I make a recommendation?
Go ahead.
Get an Old English 40. I don't even know if you know what a 40 is, right? No,
I don't know what a 40 is.
I know what a 40
What?
is. I went to college. I know what a 40 is.
All right.
Oh, that kind of a 40. Okay.
That's right.
You said an Old English. I was like, is that some terminology I've never heard before?
I don't think Old English would be my first choice, but
it wouldn't be mine either.
No,
but I would just pour it out.
I can't say I've ever had one, but I
pour some for your homies.
Yeah, pour it for your homies that didn't make the 40-man roster. Like that. So, congrats, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how do you find out about that? Is it, do you get a call from like Chaim Bloom himself? Is it through your agent? How does that work?
No, it was Brian Abraham, our farm director. He gave me a call. I'd say I think the deadline was at 6 that day. He called me at like a little before 5 and just gave me a heads up. And then I think like 30 minutes later, I saw it online that it was released. So I found out 30 minutes before everybody else did.
So you get the phone call, right? And then you're like in shock because you get the phone call saying that you're going to be on the 40-man. And then it starts hitting Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and whatnot. And you're like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, that's when all the texts and DMs and I'm getting tagged in a billion things and everything. That all starts coming in. So it's exciting. It's kind of overwhelming when there's that many people texting me at the same time. It's hard to answer everybody right away. So I kind of just gave it some time and sat down later that night and answered everybody and appreciate all their congratulations and everything. But it was a cool time for sure.
Were you surprised?
No, I wouldn't say I was surprised.
I was surprised it took
I was definitely in cards. Just because the deadline went up. The deadline was coming up, and I knew after my 4th year of pro ball, so I was Rule 5 eligible. So I knew some things might happen. I didn't know what would happen. I know a lot of trades happen on those days too, so I didn't know if it could have been something like that too. So I was just keeping my phone on and hoping for the best.
Yeah, going through some of the lists, predicting it beforehand, I think you and Cedar Rafaela were the only guys I think were on every single list. So I can't say that I was super surprised, but it was very well deserved. And it's a pretty cool story with you too, because you weren't you went, as you were saying, you went to college, you weren't exactly drafted early. You were 26th round back when they still did that many rounds. So it's been a journey for you.
You got picked today. So
yeah,
there's not even around for me these days. So yeah, definitely unlikely.
So tell us a little bit about where you come from. You're from Delaware?
I'm from Delaware. I went to the University of Delaware. Yeah, I still live here in the off seasons. I go down to Fort Myers for spring training and then the season up in New England, but I'm here for the rest of those months.
What is something about Delaware that you know from living there, but us from Boston and New York, we're not in Connecticut, we're not going to know.
There's not many things about Delaware.
Have you hold on, Ed? Have you ever seen Wayne's World? You remember the part where they're going through and he goes, "We're in Delaware."
I haven't seen the movie, but there's really not much to do in Delaware. I wish I had more good things to say. There's some good beaches, actually. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah.
On beaches, there's drive-on beach, so you can drive your truck on and fish on the beach and stuff. That's pretty unique. But other than that, there's really not much. You can drive from the farthest point one end to the farthest point the other end in less than 2 hours. So it's a small area.
And it's really flat, right? To my memory,
it's flat, very flat.
Like throwing a frisbee, like you can really launch that fucker because it's not really going anywhere. Like you're not losing it.
Exactly. There's definitely no mountains or anything. I mean, there's a river that goes through it. Other than that, there's not many landmarks.
So just growing up, just a lot of baseball for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cold too, so you get it's just like kind of same weather as in the New England area. So baseball starts up in March-ish. It's cold. You got to wear it for a month or two. But baseball starts up in March, goes through the fall, and then it's football weather in the winter months.
Did you play
football also?
No, I watch football though. I don't play.
Who are your teams?
Oh, I'm all Philly. Eagles. I grew up a Phillies fan. Sixers and Flyers. I'm a big sports fan.
How was the World Series for you this year with the guy who drafted you, Dave Dombrowski, taking the Phillies to the World Series?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, the city of Philly just was lit every night. I mean, it was every time they played, it seemed like it was a party. The players were going to the bars after the game with all the fans and everything, and pouring champagne on them and stuff at the bar by the stadium called Xfinity Live. The city was on fire from them, and it helps that the Eagles were undefeated. They lost on Monday night. I was actually there at the game, and they're looking great too. So both those teams, I mean, Philly's got as passionate of a fan base as anybody. So it's been a fun time here.
Can I ask you, Brandon, when you were young, did you play travel baseball in terms of like really going around, getting in planes and going to tournaments all over the place, or was it more car?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, I played on like smaller travel teams. We flew to Florida maybe once. I don't know, like I wasn't going all over the country or anything. And then when I got to high school, I played American Legion baseball. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like it's like a local league. That's kind of that's what most of the players did around this area. Some really good players would play on like the Evo Shield Canes or something like some of those national teams. But I didn't do that.
So when did you know I'm pretty fucking good at this? Like when did that aha moment that I don't just like baseball, I'm not just one of the guys on the team, but I'm so much better than everyone else on the team?
I think I lost you for a second there.
Yep. So I just want to know when you knew you were so much better than everyone else on your team.
I mean, I've always been able to perform pretty good. When it comes to like prospect status and all that stuff, like in high school, like I have like, I mean, Delaware's all state. Basically, I've been pitching right in the state of Delaware when it comes to like high school stats. But I was like kind of like the mid to high 80s in high school, and then I went to Delaware as a decent Division I school, but not like Power 5 or anything. And I was able to start as a freshman there. I've always been able to throw strikes and make the ball move and stuff. So I've always had success with baseball. And then when I got drafted, I was still kind of high 80s, maybe topping 91-ish. So obviously I wasn't going to be any kind of prospect or anything. And then the COVID year came, and I was able to really put on some weight and make myself more athletic and start throwing harder and harder and harder. And then that was up into the mid 90s. And then I started getting on those prospect lists, and then people start taking notice more. But I've always been able to put up good numbers and compete. So I'd say from early age.
think you're selling yourself a little short as far as controlling the ball, because I was, following you at the beginning of this season. What was it? You had something crazy like 30 or 40 strikeouts before you gave up your first walk, and you had like something like 60 strikeouts to 2 walks at one point, or so, just something absolutely mind-boggling like that.
Yeah, well, I know I got pitcher of the month the first month in the Eastern League, and I went the whole month. I didn't have any walks. I remember my first walk, because everyone was like, I'm hearing about it every day, about how I don't have any walks. I'm just like literally going into games trying not to walk anybody just to keep the streak alive. And then we're playing against the Phillies team. It's in the 6th inning, and I walked a guy with 2 outs in the 6th inning. I threw a 3-2 slider, and it just missed, and I was pretty pissed about it. Then I ended up getting out of it with 0 runs, and then the whole streak thing was over, so I could just focus on pitching after that. So, but no, it was good.
Yeah, I mean, you put up some pretty incredible numbers, and I think it's interesting just how good that Portland pitching staff was, because it wasn't just you there. It was Bray and Bayo, it was Chris Murphy, all of these guys starting in Double-A. But you actually got to follow up Bayo's no-hitter, right? He threw the no-hit. Was it you had like a 10 strikeout game, and then he threw the no-hitter, or was it the other way around?
It was I threw first, and then he threw. So I threw. That was the game I was talking about. I had my first walk. I think I had like 10 K against the Phillies team, and I went like I think it was 6 or 7 innings. I think it was 6 shutout innings. And then of course Bayo has to one up me and throw a no hitter in game 2. So no one remembered my game really, but no, that was fun though. Having that rotation, and even the bullpen too was very good early in the season. A lot of prospects, and a lot of like even the guys that weren't like as well known, they all had really good stuff and put up good numbers. So it was fun there early in the season.
Is it fair to say that your 10 strikeout performance, you just frustrated the shit out of him? So the next day, you made it much easier for someone to go and no
for sure. Their confidence was down in game 1.
Got it.
Yep. And then Bayo came in, and it was easy for him.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the next day. It was the same day. It was a double header.
It was 30 minutes later is what it was.
Oh, so you totally ruined their day. Like they were already like,
oh yeah, they were mad. Yeah, because I'm really close with one of the guys that's on that team. I actually work out with him at home, and I went to college with him and everything. And he was like, "Man, we were down after that day. It was a tough. It was crazy because we played 2 7-inning games, and it took it was so fast that it took like less than a normal game, like one game would take. Like it was crazy, but. I mean,
when you just strike everybody out and no one gets on base, like that's a really good strategy. Like,
yeah,
like it's like hitting the golf ball straight into.
You don't even need a pitch clock when no one's getting on base. You know,
no. Listen. You just bring that strategy with you. Just keep that mindset. Strike everybody out. Right. Make it quick.
Yeah, it's that easy. Yeah, as long as I have that mindset, it'll always work like that.
So I have a question. So I actually ended up going to your debut with the Woo Sox.
Sorry to hear that.
I wasn't gonna be like, not you, whatever.
No, I've said to it's fine.
How was it? Like you were like dominant in Double-A, and then you get into Triple-A, and you just have that falter. What do you do to get out of that?
Oh, I mean, it was kind of I had a game in Portland against Hartford. It was that I gave up 3 homers. The line score was ugly. I think I gave up 6 or 7 runs, and that I felt like I got rocked. I left that first game in Worcester, and I didn't feel like I really got hit that hard. It was they just kind of just singled me to death for an inning. So it was tough. I think I maybe let my mind spiral a little bit once it got really deep into that inning. I gave 4 hits. But I was pretty upset about it after. And then I went back and looked, and it didn't really seem like anything was hit that hard. So I think it was just one of those weird games where they just put together good at bats and put the ball where the defense wasn't. And I wasn't able to get swings and misses in that inning to get myself out of the inning. But I wouldn't say I really did anything different than I did in the other games or that I had success. It was they just put together good at bats and were putting the ball where our defenders were not there.
I was still rooting for you.
So you made a few. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying. I don't care how bad you're doing.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, man. So you made a few starts in AAA, and then I read that it was a neck injury that happened. But what you were out? You missed the last 2 months or so of the season. What happened there?
So it was a neck thing. It was technically it's upper back. It's like kind of like middle of my shoulders. The vertebrae I had a bulging disc in the spot there. I had it all season too. So because I had an issue in spring training and it wasn't like as bad as it was the second time. But I didn't really take any time off. I kind of just pitched through it, and eventually the pain went away, but I never really was able to move the same way with my upper half. And then I think that second time I injured it, it just was just way worse. And I remember I woke up the next day and I really couldn't even move. It was pretty scary. So I came into the training room and I thought it was the same kind of stiff neck situation that I had in spring training. But this one just didn't go away at all. So we ended up getting looked at MRI and they saw the bulging disc, which explains the spasms that it was causing and the nerve impingement. So I just had to rest it it seemed like forever. I didn't think it would take as long as it did, but I really couldn't do much for, like I said, at least 2 months. So it was tough. It was definitely a weird thing, freak injury. But it just needed to rest, which is frustrating. And during the middle of the season when you're in AAA and you never know what could happen when you're in that spot, the other injuries could happen. And in a day I could be in the major leagues. So it was definitely frustrating for me, but it was needed to take that rest. And now I'm feeling good. So I guess it's all worth it.
Yeah, I'll say it. You would have been in the majors if it wasn't for the injury, because that was the trajectory. The team was struggling with injuries the whole season.
I don't just because at the same time the major league team got crushed in the rotation with injuries too. So I don't know if I would have or not, but I think there definitely would have been a chance. So definitely frustrating, but I think I'll get my chance. So it'll be good.
You'll be there next year.
Yeah. Now, do you have something that's interesting right now with the team is that before you and Chris Murphy got added, there were only 2 lefties on the entire 40-man roster, for at least for the bullpen. Have they spoken to you at all about potentially pitching in a bullpen role, or are you still all systems go towards being a starter?
They have not said that to me at all. I talked to, I haven't really talked to him. I talked to Dave Bush today on the phone for a little bit. He just more so just congratulated me and said how he's excited to work with me and everything. But it wasn't we didn't really talk much plan wise for the season. For me right now, it's more just get healthy, which I am healthy, but just get ready because it's been so long since I've been throwing on the mound. So, for right now, just get ready for the season, and then whatever they want to do when they get there, that's obviously up to them. But I'll just gonna get my body in the right spot so that I could do either one.
What's your arsenal? What's your full arsenal? If you're feeling good, what are all the pitches?
I got fastball, slider, changeup, 2 fastballs, sinker, and a 4-seamer. Mainly throw the sinker. I'll throw more 4-seamers later in the count if I'm trying to elevate. Sometimes to right-handers, not as much to lefties. But yeah, I usually between the 3 each game, especially if I'm starting, I'm throwing 90 pitches. I like to get 30 fastballs, 30 changeups, 30 slot, pretty even mix. Obviously, it's going to change day to day based on if there's a bunch of lefties in the lineup. I'll probably throw more sliders than I would changeups, and vice versa if there's more righties. But yeah, I try to throw strikes with all of them and try to mix it up as much as I can.
So I have a question. So the schedule with the minor leagues is a lot different than it is with major leagues. So you guys are playing a team 6 times in 1 week. Mm-hmm. How do you prepare to possibly face the same team twice in the matter of a week?
It's a little weird, I'd say, for the starting pitcher. It only happens if you throw Tuesday and Sunday, so it doesn't happen often. But I did it a couple times. I did it against Hartford, and I get a terrible game the first game. So I was like, man, this sucks. I got to come back Sunday and potentially face the same lineup. So, but I mean, it sucks, but it's also good because then it's like, okay, I can get you back. You got me once, I can get you back. But I think it's actually harder if you have success in the first game because then that team can make the adjustments and you feel like you might not even have to make any adjustments. So it's just that game. It's like sometimes you got to come out with a different look in that second game facing the same lineup. Maybe if you win a lot of first pitch fastballs on Tuesday, maybe you'll start breaking balls early in the count on that Sunday game and just mix it up so that they don't really know what's coming. But yeah, I mean it's a little weird. It's a lot. The weird thing I think about is a lot of like the games get chippy later in the week because you're playing the same team 6 times. And like if you do something that pisses off the other team, then you got to play them 5 more times. I feel like there's been more fights because of it. So
I like it.
It's a little weird in that way.
I like it.
Were you there for that fight with Tyreek Reed decked that guy?
Yeah, I was. It was that was pretty crazy.
Can we ask what happened?
I don't even know. It happened very fast. I'm trying to think.
He was just like heading up the line.
So I know Tyreek got hit with the pitch.
And he was just going to first base.
Tyreek was trying to like say anything to the pitcher. I think the pitcher was trying to say that like I think it was a big miscommunication. I think the pitcher was yelling at the umpire. Because I think it was like a check swing situation where he got hit and there was the bases loaded. It was a big spot. And he was like yelling kind of like at Tyreek and at the umpire, it seemed. And then they end up yelling at each other. And then it just happened really fast. So I was in the dugout. I was wearing sneakers. I'm just going out there trying not to get my foot stepped on by a cleat. That was my number one goal there. Not get knocked out and not get stepped on and lose a toe. But no, that was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. That was the biggest fight I've seen on a baseball field in person.
So you have mentioned Hartford quite a few times already. Where's your favorite place to been playing so far? Outside of like Worcester and Portland.
Yeah, I was gonna say Worcester is my favorite place I played probably.
It's a beautiful ballpark.
Yeah, for home stadium that's as good as it gets, I'd say. Greenville was really fun. I had a great time in Greenville. That's a really good atmosphere. It's a really cool city to live in. They have a cool fan base where like they're really close with the players and like the front office of that organization's like really close with the players too, and they do a lot for us. So Greenville is definitely fun. Worcester Stadium and atmosphere is unmatched. The best road stadium I played in is probably Hartford. Honestly, that one's really cool. Even though I got lit up there, it was a fun time.
I live 20 minutes away from Hartford. That's why I wanted to see.
That's a cool place. And they pack that place too with the fans, so it's a fun atmosphere.
The most packed I've ever seen it so far is when Max Scherzer made a rehab start. There was like the seats were every seat was sold out, and they were selling tickets for standing room only. And I've never seen them do that before. That's
awesome. I didn't even know they did that for minor league games. That's pretty cool.
Anything to make a buck.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to buy it. Why not?
So, yeah, Brandon, you should see it with Worcester when they sell out. I was there when Sale did his first rehab start there.
Yeah,
not this past season, but the season before that, where Tate Matheny made that catch. Standing room only, over 10,000 people there. It was the energy was like being at Fenway. It was unbelievable.
Speaking of Sale, were you there when he destroyed the clubhouse?
No, I just missed that. That was right after I got sent to Fort Myers for rehab. So I missed that. There was a couple guys at rehab there. There was a bunch of rehabbers at that same time. My friends were there buying some food for the team and stuff, so I missed out on all that good stuff.
Who's the have you pitched to a rehabbing major league player yet? Like, who's the biggest name that you struck out?
That's a good question.
I do ask good questions.
I don't know. I feel like I missed all the rehabbers. Like I never really like faced any like. I'm trying to think. The game in Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo had any like big time rehabbers.
Just
Buffalo's
make it up.
they had a lot of prospects in their lineup, but it wasn't. I didn't see. I don't remember any major leaguers.
Just say Mike Trout. Just be like, "Yep, I
Totally,
sat that
totally struck out Mike Trout.
3 pitches done." That's awesome. That's sick.
Yeah.
Are you good at if you're told? Well, two questions here. A, are you good at it? And B, how are you instructed if you're told to hit a batter? Is it verbally before you come out? Like, do they say like the game's getting chippy? I'm not saying that ahead, but like just to like whatever. Is it verbal or is there an actual sign? And are you good at it?
I don't. I've never been told to hit anybody. No coach has ever told me to throw at anybody. I've actually. I don't think I've ever thrown at anybody on purpose.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
That's everyone has an off-season goal and a plan.
Yeah, I feel like I should definitely do it if I had to, though.
On the hip,
the glute.
Yeah,
yeah.
If it's a lefty in there, for sure, I can easily put a two-seamer right in his back pocket. Right-hander might be a little harder, but I'd try if I had to.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably have a lot of righties in the lineup, right?
Yeah. It would take a lot for me to hit someone on purpose. I think. Like, I'm not one of those that just like would just do it for anything. Like if you just go in, like I don't even like if you bat flip a home run on me, like I don't care.
All right, what if some guy talks shit about like the Eagles?
That might deserve a ball between the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not in the head.
No.
Yeah,
we're not animals here, right? You know, like
unless you say like go Cowboys, then the ball might be creeping up a little higher.
Oh. It's great. Are you a good hitter?
No.
Bunter.
I feel like I can get a bunt down, but I also could be bullshit.
I love it.
You don't have to worry about it anymore, at least.
I know. I'll never be in that situation, but I feel like I could get a bunt down.
How about the pinch
I'm probably
runner?
wrong because I'd probably be scared of getting hit if I actually got in there. Pinch runner, no.
Now,
I'm not like the slowest person, but I'm definitely not fast.
Can you explain this to me? Right, I don't see it today because we don't really do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But back in like the 80s, 90s, when pitchers would be on the base pass, even if in the middle of summer, they would button up and wear their jacket. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
like what's up. What's up with that, friend?
Maybe it's just the Northeast part of me, but I don't think I could ever do that. I don't care if it's snowing. I would not put on a jacket.
So you're calling everyone else sissies that have done that?
No, because there's probably some really good. I'm sure Rock Clemens or something did that, and Nolan
Josh
Ryan,
Beckett's done it.
I don't know.
That's
a bad one. I think it was just a thing at that time. I don't think today. I don't think a pitcher would do that.
It's just a weird look.
Yeah, that's a bad. You're just singling yourself out for no reason.
Have you ever gotten a ride out via a bullpen cart?
No, I don't think we don't have those available to us. I'd be down. That's a long run sometimes.
Too long.
Yeah, you're like kind of like Fenway Park's probably really far out there. It's deep out there in right center.
Yeah, it's the track.
What's your entrance song?
Oh, it changes. I let's see. Last year in Portland, they didn't even play our song, so I honestly forget what my song was last year. And then in Worcester, I was there only one game. They didn't even ask me, so I didn't. I'm trying to think what it was before. It was some like techno song.
You don't remember what it was. What would you want it to be?
It changes. I don't know. So probably maybe something Meek Mill, represent the city of Philadelphia.
Would you be down with your big football guy, right? Fantasy football, make a bet. You lose, the person who beat you gets to pick your entrance music into your opening, like your first ever MLB appearance. Would you put that on the line? Because, Taylor Swift is definitely going to get blurred out or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe for a minor league game. I don't think I would do it for the for a debut in big leagues. That's a quick way to lose a lot of people's respect that are at the game. So
I'll tell you what, it should
or
never
gain
be.
respect. It's depending on what if it's Taylor Swift, some people might like that. So
True. I remember Brock Holt batting to the theme from Titanic once. That was pretty funny.
that's
I think it was just his first at bat for the game, but I remember that happening and being like, "Did I imagine that?"
I feel like a lot of people care a lot what their walkout song is, and I just don't care at all. Like if people don't ask me, like if I'm not like specifically asked what song they want me to play, like I want them to play, I just don't even address it. Like I don't go out of my way to tell them a walkout song. I don't listen to it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Just a suggestion: if anytime like you do get asked, just don't play "Dancing on My Own."
No, that song's played out, I think.
No, it's just
It's also
bad
a
luck.
losing song. It's a losing song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny that you're saying that because I'm getting married next year, and my fiance really wants the groomsmen to come out to that. She's like, "Oh, it's a Red Sox song," and it's like,
No,
I don't think that works
No.
anymore. I don't think that works now.
I don't think that'd be good for a wedding anyway. I think it's about a breakup.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Really, I haven't. Oh, geez. I don't
It's
know why she
not
wants to go
dancing with the
that.
girl that likes me. It's dancing
it's like
on
he's
my
like watching
own.
his ex dance with someone else. I think that's what it is.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna have to
Allie,
talk
that's
about
a
this.
terrible idea.
Yeah, that'd be
What kind
tough.
of fucking wedding plans are going on? What the hell, man?
Dodge the
Dirty
bullet
water? Jeez. This is not. Come on, guys.
Shipping up to Boston? Come on.
Probably should listen to the lyrics to Tessie now that you're mentioning this. Oh boy.
there.
Play the original Tessie.
There you go.
Totally different question. You were talking about some pitchers before. Who was your favorite player as a kid?
So I was a huge Phillies fan, like I said. I'd say Cliff Lee.
Oh,
Big
there's a
Cliff Lee.
lefty that
Yeah.
people don't talk quite as much about.
Right. When he was going good, I mean, I think me and him kind of similar. Like, we don't really throw the same, but kind of similar with like the strike throwing thing. Like he's just like pinpoint control. So I tried to as a kid, I tried to model myself after him and Cole Hamels. I don't know if you remember Cole Hamels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he hasn't technically retired. He's still kind of around.
He's still chugging. No, he was the World Series MVP in 2008. And that was like one of the coolest things for me. I was 12 years old when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008 and just fell in love with that whole group with Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, and Jimmy Rollins, and that crazy pitching staff with Roy Halladay and Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee. So I looked up to those guys. Those were my favorite players. But yeah, I'd say Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, those guys are since they're lefties and I'm a lefty, yeah. Followed them more than anything else.
Matt Stairs was on that team, right?
Matt Stairs had a huge home run.
I remember that.
Against the Dodgers. It might still be in the air. That ball was flushed. But yeah, that was cool. I remember I was 12 years old. I'm not used to staying up that late, and for some reason, playoff games they go till like 2 a.m. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd stay up for those games, and it was awesome watching those games every night.
Your parents big baseball fans?
Huge baseball fans, yes.
That must have
They
been
come to see me. I'd probably say like half the games. The ones that are, any game that's local. Like I remember last year we came to Harrisburg in Pennsylvania. That's like an hour from me. They were all there. I had a big family group there. So anytime I'm local, they're
You there, Brandon?
yeah. You guys all
okay.
Did you hear anything I said?
You were talking about Harrisburg. You had a big turnout of family in Harrisburg.
Yeah, anytime I'm coming local, I get a big family group. My parents for sure, and then a bunch of friends and family that live in the area always come up. So it's pretty cool. It's good playing in this area because it's all close enough driving distance that nothing's really crazy. So it's good.
what's your number? Are you attached to I know you're not attached to a song. Are you attached to a number?
I got a couple. I wore 32 in college. I like that a lot.
Clean.
No real reason why. I don't know. It's just 32 is a good number for a pitcher, I feel like. My other one's 21. That'd probably be my second guess.
That might be hard to get in Boston.
Probably. There's someone big's 21, isn't it?
Roger Clemens wore 21 and has never been worn. It's not retired, but it has never been worn.
32 is not retired, is it?
I don't think so.
Someone probably has it currently.
It's gonna be someday. Wink, wink,
Yes.
nod, nod.
Oh, for me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, I mean, when Cliff Lee is the comp, I'm kidding. What dude, I haven't thought about Cliff Lee. What an awesome big game pitcher. Like,
yeah, dude, it seemed like he was just like shoving every postseason for different teams every year. It was weird.
That guy always kept his emotions seem under wraps. What's your mechanism like? If there's one run lead, you got 2 on, one out, and you can feel momentum's kind of swinging away from you. How do you keep it in check?
I mean, a lot like the way you guys view Cliff Lee like that. Like I try to be just like that. Like good or bad, I try not to let it show in my face at all. I think I do good. I'm not a big celebrator or a big like get mad visibly on the field when things don't go my way. I just try to keep it even keel the whole time. Never get too high, never get too low.
I would be an asshole. I would just be like,
yeah.
I would celebrate and let you know. And like,
a lot of people do that. Like a lot of people are big energy like pitchers, and I just can't do it for me. Like it's too much. Like I feel like I'm like too focused on like the little things that like I just don't let like little successes like try to like get me too hyped up because I don't want to be too hyped up.
Are you thinking like after almost each pitch, like you just missed? Are you thinking, my landing foot? I was a little whatever. Like, okay,
no. So I try to keep the whole mechanical situation out of it. Like whatever mechanics I have that day, whether it's different or not from what I normally do, that's what I got that day. I'm gonna make adjustments with the ball coming out of my hand based on that. So I'm not thinking. I mean, like maybe like little things, like if I'm like feel like I'm off balance or my direction's a little off, like maybe tinker with that throughout the game, but not. I'm not thinking about my lower half mechanics or opening up too early or anything. I try to get all that squared away every day in catch play and in bullpens and in pregame bullpen. And that way, whenever you go out to the game, it's just what pitch do I want to throw, where do I want to throw it, and why do I want to throw it. And so it just try to get that mechanical part out of my head. Because if I'm thinking about mechanics and what my hips are doing or what my legs are doing, and my mind's in the wrong spot. I'm trying to compete and mix it up and get good sequences and remember scouting reports and everything. So that's where my head's at.
Do you think that that mentality plays into why your control is so good? Or like, because there are guys that you hear about, they've got electric stuff, but they don't know where the ball's going.
Right,
For you, it seems like you've got pretty great stuff and you don't walk anybody. So how have you managed to do that?
I mean, a lot of that is physical, just like getting consistent release out of the hand. But other than that, I mean, I don't really think it's mechanical. I think it's just mindset, like just confidence and intent, pitching with a purpose instead of just throwing pitches, just to throw them. I feel like you see some people sometimes where it looks like they're trying to not walk people instead of trying to pitch. Like I went into each about thinking about like, oh, what if I walk this guy? Like I'm thinking, okay, if I throw ball 1, what's going to get me back in the count? Like what pitch am I going to go to get back in the count? Instead of thinking like, oh man, like I better throw a strike here because if not, I'm going to go 2-0 and then 3-0 and then walk him. I just try to just treat each pitch individually, and every pitch has a purpose, and a lot of it's just being confident in throwing the ball in the strike. So like some people don't like throwing the ball down the middle, and I'm okay with throwing the ball down the middle, especially early in the count. I think getting ahead in the count holds more value than trying to nip a corner every time and then risk falling down 1-0, I think the advantage is to the pitcher if you're 0-1. If you want to ambush a first pitch fastball or something, then I'll take my chances with that. But I'm not going to risk falling behind in the count consistently because that's just not going to lead to success.
Now, is this how you've always approached pitching, or is this been something that's been learned for you?
I think my aggression to the middle of the strike zone has been a little bit more than it was, I'd say, even in college, just because I think the analytical part of it plays into that. There's just so much of an advantage of being 0-1 rather than 1-0. So just being okay with being in the middle of the plate, knowing that it's not a video game. You can't just put the ball wherever you want. So if I'm trying to throw the ball middle early in the count and I miss a little bit, I don't want that to be if I miss my spot by an inch, I don't want that to be the difference between a strike and a ball, if that makes any sense. I want to be aggressive in the strike zone. And then once you get ahead, hitters are going to be more inclined to swing and chase off the plate once they're in the hole. So just that's the game I play. Just try to get in as many advantage counts as I can get into, and then use the hitter's aggressiveness against them and make them chase out of the zone because they have to.
Yeah, and it helps having a slider like yours for that. How did you learn your slider?
So it was kind of a weird transformation. I had a curveball in college that I think I threw more than the slider, and then I like started kind of blending them. Like it was like kind of like I started throwing like a slurve thing, and then my arm slot dropped a little bit. So I pretty much just throw a sideways curveball, if that makes any sense. Like it's not like I use the same grip I had for a curveball and just whip it from the side, the same slot I throw my fastball and change up, and it just breaks a ton horizontally. So it's evolved over the years, but I really haven't changed much with the grip or anything. It's really just my arm slot fell into a good spot where I can get a ton of movement with that, still throw the fastball hard and get movement the other way with that and the change up. So yeah, it's evolved, but it's the same grip that I've had for a long time.
When you're pitching, do you try to pitch more to your strengths, or are you thinking about the batter's weakness?
It's a bit of a combination of both, I'd say. If there's something like really obvious about a scouting report on the other side, then I'll obviously use that. Like the big thing for me is like if a hitter is a big first pitch swinger, then maybe I won't just feed him fastballs first pitch every time. Maybe I'll be more inclined to throw a changeup just below the zone, because I know I'm probably going to get a swing because they're looking to swing early in the count. Whereas if a lot of hitters, they'll swing at first pitch maybe 10% of the time, and those guys I'm just going to go right at first pitch. It's an easy strike one if it's in there. So like things like that, I will do towards the scouting report, but usually later in the count, I go with what I feel like I can execute the best. The other one is maybe like if a guy chases high fastballs. That's an easy one to that's a good thing to know because not everybody does, and I don't really have a great carry like for my slot and everything. I don't like high fastball isn't a huge part of my game, but if a guy is inclined to swing at those a lot, then I'll throw them. So those two things. Other than that, I'm really trying to pitch to my strengths, which is just throwing the ball in the zone with everything. And if a guy's really going to chase things early in the count, then I'll maybe put something out of the zone. But other than that, I'm just looking to attack.
As a pitcher, what's more enjoyable? Freezing a guy, let him look at strike three, or let him swing through it? Which one do you actually get more satisfaction out of?
Swing through, I'd say. I think my favorite I've done it a few times. I think my favorite is when I hit a guy with a slider that he swings at. I've done that like so.
How about you throw it and if they think it's going to hit them and it breaks right over the strike zone? Have you managed to do that much?
Oh yeah, to some lefties, you get some bailouts. Yeah, that one's fun too. I'd say those two might be tied for my favorites.
If you've seen the Chris Sale the last pitch of the 2018 World Series,
Machado,
that to me, yeah, that looks like a strikeout that would feel really fucking good.
For plenty of reasons, that would feel really good. I mean, you
yeah,
series, he's a starter coming out of the pen, probably not really used to it. I'm sure. I know Chris. He's a big energy guy, so I know him coming into a World Series game to close it out. I'm sure his adrenaline was through the roof. You strike out Manny Machado, who's a really good player, and you make him look bad. You almost throw it between his legs, and he swings at it. So, yeah, I mean that's about as cool as it gets, I'd say.
Well,
Have you worked with Sale at all? Just because you guys do kind of have a similar profile, just with lefty, a lot of strikeouts, excellent control. Have you gotten to pick his brain?
I haven't really worked with him because I feel like he's been injured or just not around me the whole time.
That's fair. That's fair.
Every time I've been around him, he's been injured because of this year I was with him when he was injured and in Fort Myers, and I was in Fort Myers injured. And I got to know him pretty good, but I didn't really work with him because neither one of us were throwing at that time.
Right.
We just shooting the shit in the training room every day.
I guess when I say work, I mean more like talk about pitching.
A little bit, not as much. It seems like we talked about everything else besides pitching, which is sometimes you just got to get away from it and just talk about life. And he's an interesting guy.
Next time you talk to him, let him know to stay away from bicycles, please.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, trust me, we got on him about that one.
Now, if he gave you the advice and said, "Brandon, look, man, you're a real natural talent, man. You've got this, but a little too laid back on the mound. You got to eat your glove." I don't know if you saw Sale in the postseason, but right?
He's crazy. I mean, we saw him.
Could you do it?
We saw him after the rehab start in Worcester. I mean, he's got that crazy look in his eyes sometimes. So, in that sense, we might throw the same, but we do not act the same in that way. I'm very different than that.
Would you give him a set of training wheels for Christmas? Are you like?
Oh, that's a good idea. I should. If I was down there, I would. I don't know if I would do it, but I would suggest it to somebody that maybe
secret.
If the Red Sox
an address, Secret Santa,
a Secret Santa,
just unanimously send it to his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
JetBlue Park, fine.
No, that would be good. He would appreciate that. He's got a good sense of humor. He would appreciate that.
I mean, that really sucked, though. I mean,
yeah, you can't. I feel like
that's terrible.
It just wasn't meant to be for him this season. It's just everything. He works his ass off. He works so hard. I see it every day. And then the line drive, and then the weird rib thing, and then the bike. You just can't make it up. It was just a bad luck year for him.
He didn't really miss anything. I mean, it was not a really good on-field major league season.
It was a good year. I guess it was a good year to miss because it just seemed like nothing was going right from the beginning. But I mean, that's still a good talented group of guys. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised this year coming back with all those guys if they're all healthy that they kind of get to that same magic they had the year before. So yeah, it'll be good to see. Hopefully everybody's staying healthy this year and performing the way they're supposed to and the way they want to. I know they can, so it'll be fun.
So, a question for you: off season, obviously going on right now. When do you start getting prepared for the season? Obviously, you're going to start before spring training.
Yeah, in what way? Like lifting? There's no downtime for me.
Okay.
I just, especially this year, just because my off season was when I was hurt and I had to not do anything for a couple of months there. So I started throwing in October. I've been lifting for longer than that. Ever since actually real lifts, I started that. I think that was September. So yeah, I mean, I've been going. My off season's a little longer because they're coming off the injury, but usually I'll take like a week maybe after the season, and just take like a big deload. I still go in the weight room even when I'm not doing anything, just because I can't just sit at home and do nothing. But yeah, I usually take like a week off maybe, and then get back into it.
Just from talking to you, just even a little bit about pitching, you seem like you're a real student of the game. Like you really have a real love for it and a real understanding of it. If you weren't a baseball player, though, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh God, that's a tough one. I've always envisioned myself as a baseball player. So if I couldn't play anymore, then I would definitely get into coaching because I think I have a good sense of the game and pitching and just I don't know how I'd be at teaching it. I think I'd be okay. I've never really done that part. I mean, I give lessons to kids, but that's different than like coaching a professional team or a college team. But I think I'd be pretty good at coaching. I feel like I know a lot. I've learned a lot from playing, like especially recently about like the whole analytical side of it and how that can factor in to strategy and combine that with competitiveness and just getting your body ready and every day and stuff. So I feel like I could teach that pretty good. That's probably what I'll end up doing after playing. So yeah, that's what I would do.
All right, so nobody else is asking it. Ed usually asks every player that we end up having on if they have any pets.
If I have any what?
Pets.
Oh, pets. Currently I don't have any pets. I'm living in an apartment.
Oh gosh, as he's saying this.
Oh, there's a pet right there.
Oh, that's Penny. She's part of the podcast.
Sort of. She does this once per episode. I'm surprised she hasn't been barking.
Nice. But no, I don't have any pets with me currently. At my parents' house, they have a dog and a cat. I can't really claim them as mine, but that's the closest thing I got.
Did you grow up with any, or was this after you were out of the house?
Yeah, we had the dog there now. He's a little Chihuahua, a Pomeranian Chihuahua, little puffy Chihuahua, basically.
Sounds similar to this one.
A little bit, yeah, definitely hairier, but
yeah.
We had him since I was in high school, but then I moved out in college, and I really lived there for a long time, like for extended time, really since then. So, yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have an older brother who's 6 years older than me, and a sister who's 3 years older than me. My brother played baseball, and he went to a JUCO in this area. He was a catcher, actually, so it worked out nice. I mean, I've thrown hundreds of bullpens to him growing up, so it was nice having a catcher in the house anytime I wanted to throw, and he was always down to go play catch or go hit or something. Because he was playing growing up too, so it was a good little setup.
That must have helped you a lot too, getting to, because I found when I was a kid, if I could throw with somebody that was older and more experienced, I would step my game up for that.
Definitely,
I would imagine that getting to do that with somebody who was good enough to play JUCO, like that must have been amazing for you, and 6 year age difference.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned how to get my ass kicked and everything, and that's not. I knew I had to step my game because he never went easy on me, even from a young age. So definitely learned how to lose and tried to find little strategies to win things when I was outsized or whatever. But no, it was good because like I said, he was always available to like anytime. Even if I called him now, he'd be available to catch a bullpen. He's still playing in a like a beer league. As like an adult league, so he would strap it up right now if I asked him.
That's awesome. What is he doing? Beyond like the beer league, like what does he do? What does your sister do?
My sister's a nurse. Just a nurse at the hospital. Both live in the same area. My brother is a manager of a warehouse. Something boxes. I don't really know too much details about it. But he plays a bunch of sports. He plays baseball. I think he does softball too, and he plays flag football. So he's staying active. He can't turn off the competitive fire, so he's gonna find all his little ways to get that out of him.
Does he ever call you up like after seeing you and be like, "Hey, you're you're signaling that you're throwing this pitch or giving away your pitches or something like that.
Well, I hear it all. I hear it all. He's got a ton of suggestions, telling me what pitches I need to add or something. I'm like, look, it's midseason. I'm not adding a pitch or things like that. Like it's always something. But I mean, he has helped me, so I can't just make fun of him like that and saying it's not useful. Because sometimes it actually is useful. Obviously, sometimes it's a little out there with the suggestions, but no, he has helped me, so I can't say much about that.
He's tried teaching you the knuckleball, hasn't he?
Oh, of course, probably. I think he pitches now. He never pitched. Growing up, he was catcher, and now he's pitching. So I think I've actually taught him a little bit in the last couple of years about that. I think I was showing him some grips and stuff. So I think the tables have turned. I'm teaching him now.
So, if you had the chance to take a pitch from one of your teammates, whose pitch would you take, and what pitch would it be?
Oh, it's a good one. That's a really good question. One of my minor league teammates, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
minor league, any.
Okay, so I would take Chris Murphy's four-seam fastball.
Really?
Yeah. Here's my reasoning. It's because everything else I have is sinking or going like sinker, slider, change up, all kind of arm side, glove side movement, and like sinking action. And he's got his fastball carries like crazy up in the zone. So if I had his fastball to my repertoire, I think that'd be pretty deadly.
What's your off-season goals like going into next season? What are you thinking about? Like really, given true serum, the season's over next year. What did you accomplish next season?
It might sound cliche, but I just want to be healthy the whole start to finish in the season.
That's fair.
Just coming off the injury, knowing how much that sucks, it's just getting cut off mid-season, and not being able to really return that season. That's tough. I don't want that to be any kind of reputation for me. So I'm taking it personal to start and finish this season strong, physically, I'd say. And I would like to establish myself as a good pitcher in the minor leagues if that's where I start, and then get to the major leagues. That's my goal for this year.
That's would if you had your choice, would your first career game be at Fenway Park or on the road? Like if you just had your choice, and I'm sure it'd be like, it doesn't matter, right? But if you could script it, would it be less pressure on the road, friendly Fenway, the fan base behind you? Which would be the ideal scenario?
Fenway, I think, for sure. I mean, even growing up before I was playing for the Red Sox, Fenway Park is really cool. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than Fenway Park under the lights or the Green Monster and everything. It's just very unique. So much history there. So yeah, I'd want to go there. I think my second choice would be in Yankee Stadium. I think that'd be pretty cool with the rivalry and everything. Mm-hmm. Hostile crowd.
Yep.
If it goes well. If not, if it could be really bad or really good. One of the two. So I think those would be my two choices.
This is why you are, who you are and where we are, because I would want to start in like Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just
I think Tampa is like the lowest attendance, so I think that might be a good one.
Now, we had NESN analyst and former Red Sox pitcher Lenny DiNardo on a couple of days ago, and he pitched for the Red Sox, Mets, but also the Oakland A's. And he loved pitching in the Oakland Coliseum due to the fact that balls that were foul balls in Fenway were now outs, just due to the size. So not that you want to be traded from the Sox to the Oakland A's, because I would assume that would probably suck. Like, it's still cool, but the idea of pitching in a stadium that big, that's got to be pretty enticing.
Yeah, because it's like a football stadium too, right? So there's like
Yeah.
a ton of foul ground.
Mhm.
You see it all the time. Hitters like pop up foul and they just like look down and then realize the ball's still in play and it gets called like way over by the dugout. That's gonna be pretty frustrating for them. But if I could steal a few outs that way, that'd be pretty cool.
I always worried about the bullpen in a park like the Coliseum. You're
Yeah,
warming up.
Here, they're just like in play.
Like, what the hell? This is just a matter of time until somebody gets their head taken off.
Yeah, I always said that. You think like in Major League Baseball, they'd find a way to like make a renovation to get all the bullpen players, the bullpen pitchers like off the field. Like I don't
Unless you're
And it's-
Tampa.
yeah.
But it's not like they're selling out all the seats. So just if you have to put some,
Yeah, just
move
take
the
some
bullpen.
seats away.
they're not taking them anyway. So like,
Right.
like what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one.
As a Eagles fan, what are your expectations for the rest of this season?
Pretty high.
Super Bowl or bust.
I think they at least need to make the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Just because like the way the NFC looks, it's pretty wide open. Like I don't think there's any like really good team in the NFC besides the Vikings, and the Eagles already beat the Vikings pretty handily early in the season. And hopefully they can hold home field advantage. And I know they lost at home the other night, but I'm going to call that a fluke game. But it's tough to come into Philly and win in any sport, especially football when it's cold and that crowd's rocking the way they do. So if they get home field advantage throughout, I think they should go to the Super Bowl. If they end up playing the Bills or the Chiefs, that's obviously a tough game. Hope you can win it, but I think getting to the Super Bowl would be a success.
So I've been to Philly 2 times. I went to Wells Fargo for a concert. Went and saw Metallica there, and then I went and saw the Red Sox versus the Phillies. The first time I ever went was to go to see Metallica, and I was absolutely like awestruck because of the fact that the football stadium, the baseball, the park in Wells Fargo are literally right across the street from each other. How is that as someone who's an all Philadelphia fan?
It's awesome because the tailgating scene is insane. Like any Eagles game, I know the Phillies playoff games and World Series games, all those parking lots are filled with people just drinking and partying and getting ready for the game. And there's actually a bar, like a huge bar right in the middle of all the stadiums. It's called Xfinity Live, which is basically like another stadium, but it's like a big sports bar. So that just adds to it. A lot of people tailgate and they won't even go to the game. They'll go to that bar. So it's a cool atmosphere because all those parking lots get taken up with tailgaters, and it just makes for a crazy atmosphere. And everybody's just drunk when they get to the game, so it's even more loud and crazy and hectic. And there might be some fights or something, but it's Philly, so you expect it.
What's your go-to junk food?
So this is great timing because
you know what I'm going to say. Cheesesteak.
No.
Easily.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yep. You there, Ed?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my internet's been really screwy. So
Same here.
I'm actually going to Philadelphia this weekend. I'm going to be going there. My fiance's little brother and sister are running the marathon. So we're driving down there tomorrow. What's the best place to get a cheesesteak there?
There's Alessandro's is really good. That's definitely up there. It depends what you want. Do you want just like a grab and go, like greasy, classic Philly cheesesteak, or do you want to like sit down and like actually have a meal, maybe get a beer?
Oh man, either of those sound good.
That's really good. It's like an actual like more like a restaurant type situation. But their cheesesteaks are really good fries too. And you can get a drink and sit down. There's like a nice little bar. But if you want
where was that? You were breaking up.
Yeah, what spot was this? Because I want to check this place out. It sounds perfect.
Where'd you lose me? In the beginning?
Yeah, what was the name of the place?
Oh, it's called Cleavers.
Cleavers.
Yep. I don't know which street it's on. It's right in the middle of the city though, close to Center City.
Okay, I'm gonna make Allie listen to this with me on our drive tomorrow, and so I'm just gonna say, Allie, please write that down, Cleavers.
It's 108 South 18th Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It closes at 10 p.m. tonight.
Okay, plenty of time then. Please pay us for that free advertising, Cleavers.
Brandon, are you a Flyers fan too?
I am. I'm not huge into hockey. Hockey's probably I'm a fake fan for hockey. I want to see playoffs if it's there.
All right, so
you and me both. You and me both.
Yeah, hockey's tough to me because it's just I don't know. It could just be because the Flyers are not very good right now. But I don't know. Just like every other team in Philly, it seems like they're just thriving. The Sixers are a little bit of a rough. But Flyers really haven't had much success lately, so I haven't really paid them much attention.
Boston used to be a place where everybody won. It's been a little rough of recent, but there were some times where everybody was firing on all cylinders.
When I was growing up, I like kind of hated Boston because it was just the Phillies. Phillies fans are so passionate, and it seemed like every year there was a parade in Boston, and it was just for all the sports, like any sport they wanted to win at. Obviously, having Tom Brady helps with that because he seemed like he was winning every other year. But yeah, I was a little jealous of Boston growing up.
You must have loved that Super Bowl with the Philly special, then.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So, seeming as though you wanted to bring that up, let's talk about the infamous guy eating the poo on the street.
What? Wait, what?
Oh, the parade?
Yeah. So, Ed,
I missed something.
All right. So, I'm not gonna, So there was this guy. I'll have to send you the YouTube video or whatever. The Phillies won, and this guy, I don't know why, he ate horse shit.
I did see that.
I like how you're just like, oh yeah, when that happened.
It doesn't. The fact that I think I don't know who did that, but the fact that it doesn't surprise me should tell you something about Philly.
Did he just lose a bet? Like what?
Probably
what?
not. He probably was just drunk and someone dared him. That's all it takes. Yeah, they also had to grease the poles because everybody kept climbing the poles. So, yeah, the city just turns over when they win. There's not much winning in Philly. There's a lot of passion, but not much winning. So anytime there's a championship, I mean, I've only been alive for two, the Phillies and then the Eagles in 17. And both those times it seemed like it was just the biggest party ever for like the whole week. It wasn't just a day. It was every day.
I just don't get it. I was there in 2004 at the Red Sox World Series parade, and I was there in person when they won in 2013 in Fenway. And I was really happy, but I wasn't like, I want to go smash some fucking windows, man. Like, I was just really in a good
it's because
mood.
you did it every year. Like, it's
not 2004.
Oh,
no.
Well, the Patriots won, right?
I could give a shit at what the Patriots do. I'm a Red Sox fan.
Fair enough. No, I guess Philly fans are just different. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, LA does their crazy stuff too. I mean, when the Lakers win, it's not a good situation there.
No, I think some people get hurt when that happens.
For sure.
Oh man. Well, we're at a little bit over the hour mark now. So unless you guys have any more questions.
I don't have like a big question, but it's like, dude, I've seen you pitch a couple times in Hartford. Like you said earlier, unfortunately, I saw your debut in AAA. I was still happy to see you. I was like super pumped.
Sounds
to
like
see
you got to stop one of my games.
Maybe. I will promise you this: I will not go to your debut when you make it for the Red Sox, just for that fact. All right, or I won't. I won't know about it, or you won't know about it. Yeah, whatever.
I'm just kidding. I don't believe in any of that stuff.
But I'm really excited to see what you do this season. Hopefully, we get to see you make your debut and whatnot. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and good luck in the future.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, hopefully that day's coming soon. But I'm excited for the season and getting back into the swing of things with baseball. My favorite time of the year is baseball season, so I'm ready to go.
You're one step closer, man. You're on the 40 man.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool.
So,
I appreciate
Is this
it.
going to be your first MLB spring, or did you get some time there last year?
No, I was not. No, this will be my first one.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, I just want to leave you on one little thought here. Today is former Philadelphia Philly, Mitch Wild Things Williams' birthday. So in that tradition and honor, would you consider growing your hair out quite lengthy and becoming a closer? Is that where we could call you Brandon, not Wild Thing, because your control is impeccable, right? Would you grow it out? Would you come in as a closer? Could you do a Mitch Williams, but again, not the Wild Thing because your control is off the charts?
Yeah, I don't know if I could pull any of that off, actually. I think me and Mitch Williams are left-handed, and that's probably the only thing we have. So I don't know. I definitely can't grow. I don't know if I have red hair. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, grow it out, bro.
But
you're gonna fit well with the Boston.
That out.
You're gonna fit well in Boston.
Oh, for sure. A ton of Irish people in Boston.
Do the beard, man. Beard. You grow a beard. You're gonna get
a red beard. I could maybe get talked into a red beard, but I don't think I can grow the hair out. My girlfriend would cut it in my sleeve.
Just wake up one morning.
If you shaved it totally clean bald, but grew the beard out red.
Now we're talking. I could maybe do that. Probably not, but
yeah, you could. Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
We'll
You're on the fucking 40 man, bro. You now the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Dude, congrats, man.
When we talk about a beard, are we talking about just like beard, or are we talking?
Yeah,
beard?
I don't know if I can physically grow that.
Listen.
I've never gotten past like more than like a thick
chin strap
double type situation. I don't know.
How about this? If you do it, Brady has to do it too.
I mean, he's already got it going on.
He's got a beard. I mean, that's
a lot of gray. I mean,
no, but like the big beard.
I'll listen for Brandon. I'll go no shave 23. I
do like a mohawk or something. I don't think I'd want the flow.
That'd be cool.
I couldn't do the flow.
So we'll go the other Wild Thing.
Yeah, I'll do something. I could do something else. We'll see. If I'm ever closing, I feel like you got to have something weird going on.
All right. Sure. So I actually have one last question for you because we're talking about Wild Thing, Major League. What is your favorite baseball movie?
Favorite baseball movie. I'd go Bull Durham.
Okay.
Classic. I saw it when I was really young with my dad. It was first baseball movies I've seen. So I'd go Bull Durham.
Do you relate to that movie now, having lived what's happening in it?
Kind of. The minor leagues is an interesting thing because you got a bunch of people from all different backgrounds and all different parts of their career. So I mean, kind of in that way, I guess, from experiencing the minor league life. But no, it's just a good movie that it made me kind of like baseball when I was really young. I mean, I already did like baseball, but it helps you see it from a different way when as a kid. So it's a cool movie.
Love having you here, man. Best of luck for the off season. Where can people follow you on the social media stuff if they want to?
On Instagram, I think I mean, they can if they want. On Instagram, it's B_Walt_, and it's the same for Twitter. I'm not a TikToker. I don't have TikTok. I'm not really on Facebook. So yeah, those two.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you all next time. Thanks again, Brandon, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pesky Report. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly